One of the biggest lies they teach the kids in school is that it took millions of years to make Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon formed in less than a week.
Where was it you graduated from again? The University of Duh.
It's universally agreed by most geologists that the Grand Canyon formed over 5 to 6 million years when the Colorado River began to cut a channel through the layers of rock that now form the Grand Canyon. And humans have inhabited that area since the last ice age, so about 2.1 billion years ago. Hang on a second, I think I may be able to see why young Earth creationists don't like this. Please subscribe.
Grand Canyon formed very rapidly. We had a dam right across here, across our lake, and several years ago, we cut a notch in the top, let the water start coming over the top. Within 4 minutes, the notch was 8 feet wide, and in 7 minutes, the whole dam was gone.
That's dirt. That's not even rock. Hang on a sec, I'm gonna need to compose myself. Before we start, just a quick thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is a VPN service that makes online privacy protection easy by encrypting all the internet traffic sent to and from your devices and ensuring that your IP address stays hidden. It makes sure no one else can see what you do online. And on top of that, it blocks ads, trackers, malware, and phishing attempts. And unlike other VPN services, you can use it on as many devices as you like simultaneously. Now, I spend a huge amount of time on the internet because I've basically got no life, and the internet knows a lot about me, and you too probably, which is why we should all care about our online security. Surfshark encrypts your personal information and sends it through a secure VPN tunnel so that no one can see it without your permission, which is great for protecting yourself online. Now, unfortunately, ID theft is an increasingly common and scary crime, but you can use Surfshark's additional feature, Surfshark Alert, to get alerts anytime your email address or password is compromised. If somebody accesses your email or any of your passwords, Surfshark Alert notifies you, and if any data breach is found, they can take action to protect your personal information. So click on the link in the description or go to surfshark.deals/creaky and use my code creaky to get 83% off. And throughout November and December, they're now giving you 4 months extra free. It's a no-brainer. Back to Creaky, who's not as posh as me because I've got a shirt on. Oh, I'm posh.
Anytime the lake gets too full, it finds the lowest point, cuts a notch, and drains the lake. That's what happened at Purdue University. This huge dam was cut right across there, drained the whole thing in 15 minutes. That's what happened in San Francisco. This mountain range in the south and mountain range in the north, if they were connected, if you plugged up that gap, a great big lake would fill up in the middle of California. It got too full, went over the top, washed out San Francisco Bay, left behind the best dirt in the world, and probably formed that canyon 50 or 100 years after Noah's flood.
Ah yes, Noah's flood, the other thing that young Earth creationists like Kent here and Matt Powell, official, can offer absolutely no evidence for.
And probably took about 3 days to make all that.
3 days? Really? Whatever Kent is smoking, somebody send me some. Now, the Grand Canyon contains some of the oldest exposed rocks on Earth. The mile-high walls reveal a cross-section of Earth's crust going back nearly 2 billion years, and these rock layers have given geologists the opportunity to study evolution through time. And so far, as I'm sure you will have noticed, Kent's best evidence for the Grand Canyon having formed in 1 week is dirt being washed away by water. Brilliant.
Dams can break quickly. The Kaibab Plateau is about 45 miles wide and 60 miles long, and at 7,000 to 8,000 foot elevation. It's like this big bump I made here. If this was the Kaibab Plateau, if you plugged up Grand Canyon, which cuts across like this, a great big lake would fill up behind it.
Well, that's going to need to be one hell of a big plug, isn't it? Because the canyon measures over 275 miles long, up to 18 miles wide, and it's a mile deep.
There was a lake that went all the way back to Colorado. Then it got too full, they found the lowest point, and it started meandering around, and it would start eating at the other side. Canyons always wash out from the far side in.
Canyons do, yeah, but I still don't see your point, Ken, because all you've done so far is show pictures of mud being washed away by water. You can do that with a hose pipe in your back garden. The Grand Canyon is made of solid sandstone, and is billions of years old. Are you really trying to suggest that water would wash away sandstone in a week? I don't know why I said that, really. That's exactly what he's suggesting, isn't it? It's just unfortunate that there are so many No, I'm not going to say it. So many idiots that believe him.
So there may have been some obstacles it had to go around, but it would start off on level ground and eat its way down until it got down deep enough to be at the bottom of the lake, to drain the lake. It probably drained that lake in less than a week. And Grand Canyon today is about 18 miles wide and a mile deep. And it's a broken dam.
The Grand Canyon is not now, nor was it ever, a dam, broken or otherwise. It's partially the product of a tectonic uplift, and the Colorado River quite happily carved its way through the Grand Canyon over millions of years. Are you honestly expecting us to buy, even though the idiots that follow you buy it, that if I was to go out and buy a huge chunk of sandstone, we'll say, as ridiculous as it sounds, a mile by a mile, that if I ran my garden hose pipe over it for a week, it would cut that block of sandstone in half?
In the summer of 2021, we had a big storm and this lake got too full. It went over the top right here. The water's running this way and it started eroding this way. All canyons do that. The water goes this way, the groove comes this way. If we'd let it keep running, it would have eaten a giant canyon all the way back here from this little bitty pond. It does not take millions of years to make erosion like that. Probably took about 1 hour to erode all that dirt away.
Yeah, I'm sure it did, Kent. Because it's dirt! The Grand Canyon's not made of dirt.
During the storm last summer, the water came pouring out of the woods here, came right across our little road, and began washing out this canyon in less than an hour. Did not take millions of years. Once the water starts moving, it picks up speed, going downhill, and it picks up gravel, sand, and clay, and it becomes liquid sandpaper.
I've got questions, and you've got to love Kent and the way he looks so confident in what he's saying, even though in reality he's just making himself look like a complete moron. What's liquid sandpaper? Do you mean a liquid abrasive? And is this canyon by any chance sandstone, or is this one dirt as well? Only asking. No need to get so defensive, Kent.
It can eat out a giant canyon like this in 1 hour.
Cheeky. Eat out a canyon, eh? I know what you're talking about.
It does not take millions of years. Notice there's all nice, neat layers here. The layers would have formed during the flood of Noah, and we just cut a canyon in it in real quick with one big storm.
Amazing. I think it's the music. Absolutely fascinating montage of man-made objects that have failed under the pressure of the water behind them. I thought you were trying to prove that the Grand Canyon formed in a week, not that you're a dick. We already know that. And anyway, I'm more concerned with the name of this particular dam. Titta? Bau Asi. Aha. Tita Boasi. I know I didn't really need to include that, but I'm basically a 49-year-old child. Plus, I need to give Kent things to say about me when he features me in his next episode of Whack an Atheist. Because I'm right and he's wrong, and he can't use facts against me because he doesn't have any. I love guessing games. Now, my first thought when I saw this image was that a lumberjack had gone batshit crazy with a chainsaw, but then I noticed that there was a crevice carved into that bank in the background. So I'm gonna guess that there was some sort of flood. Not Noah's flood, because that's not a real thing and you can't prove it is, but a flood nevertheless, and it washed that muddy bank away. So still not sandstone then, Kent. You do realize that what you're doing here is comparing apples to oranges, don't you? If you're gonna try and debunk something that is universally known to be a fact, then you need to bring something more substantial than showing us pictures of muddy hills that have been washed away by water. Because that's not what the Grand Canyon is. That's not what formed the Grand Canyon. And you're an idiot. Oh yeah, and FYI, you probably want to stop using the word probably in your presentations, because probably using the word probably doesn't fill people with confidence. Probably. Oh yeah, and remember earlier on in the video where I said that they couldn't actually prove Noah's flood was a real thing either? Well, I've made a video about that as well, from the lovely Matthew Powell. You can watch it here, it's pretty good, you should check it out. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, love you, bye.